Free set, and thank you everybody for coming. So my name is Saima HuQ, and along with Vincent Allen here, we are the co-founders of Always Love Lucy Theater, which is very fitting. We're doing this. It's an Arthur Miller play because we started with an Arthur Miller play, Death of a Salesman, 9 years ago, and we're doing it now here. And a little bit shook up. This theater, as you can see, is named for a theater friend of ours named Tony, who passed away in January 2020, very suddenly. He was only 46. But he was always making opportunities for actors everywhere, in theaters like this, with plays like this, because he just loved the art. And that's Joseph Fusco right there. You're very much like Tony in that. And we're here for the art and the love of it and the passion of it and bringing people who want to enjoy. So very, very touched to have you guys here in this space with this fantastic cast, both of us. We're going to bring to you an Arthur Miller one act, which he wrote in 1982. It's called Elegy for a Lady. It's lesser known. It is about 25 minutes long. It takes place in a woman's clothing shop in the mid-20th century. And now, Elegy for a Lady by Arthur Miller.
Can you help me?
Yes.
Do you have anything for a dying woman?
Let me see. Can I ask you?
Excuse me?
I was wondering if she's actually...
By the end of the month or so, apparently.
Oh, but it isn't sure.
Oh, I think she's sure, but I haven't talked to any doctors or anything like that.
And it's...
So it seems, yes.
Oh.
I assume you were going to say cancer.
Oh.
I never bought her anything. I was going to send flowers, but flowers seem so funereal.
Oh, well, not necessarily. Some spring flowers.
What's a spring flower, like daisies?
Or daffodils. There's a shop 2 blocks down, Faintons.
Yeah, I passed that before. Couldn't decide if it should be a bunch of flowers or a plant.
Well, either one would be really...
But a bunch of flowers would die quickly, wouldn't they?
But a plant would last for years sometimes.
There is a kind of irony in that, isn't there?
Oh, cut flowers then.
She'd have to watch those wither away and die every morning, wouldn't she?
Yes. Yes. She's not an older woman?
No. Just turned 30 a couple of months ago.
Oh.
Yeah. Never bought her anything. It really struck me recently.
You've known each other very...
Oh, that's hard to remember. I can't remember if we met 3 months ago, 3 years ago.
Oh.
Or 2. She can't remember either.
Huh.
Of course, we've never been able to stay on the subject long enough to, well, we've never been able to stay on any subject long enough except for one. I'm married.
Yes.
And a lot older, of course.
Oh, well, no, that's not always.
Yeah, usually is the
Hmm.
I'm trying to think of a book. But with all the reading we've done, nothing comes to mind.
She's not religious?
Nah, she's not religious. Never talked about religion. Can't decide if I want to distract her mind or concentrate it. Everything I can think of seems very ironic, you know? All the books seem either too sad or too comical. I can't think of anything that won't increase the pain of it.
Well, perhaps you're being too tender about it. There's nothing you could send that could be as terrible as what she already knows. And you know, people do make a kind of peace with it.
Nah, I think in her case, the alarm never stops ringing. Living is all she ever thought about. She won't return my phone calls, that's for sure. Sometimes I don't hear from her for weeks. I start to think, maybe she wants me to, disappear. But then, she calls me back. And she's so eager for me to believe her excuses is why she couldn't call me back. And so I do, and I forget my resentment towards her, and then I try to help her, and then she pushes me away again, and then I don't hear from her for, weeks at a time. Sometimes I think she's trying to tell me that there's someone else. I don't know, I can't read her signal.
Perhaps it's just a possibility that, she can't bear to be cheated out of somebody she loves.
I am so glad to hear you say that. There are times that we're on the phone, and she excuses herself, and there is dead silence for a whole minute or two. And then she comes back on, and she's so fresh and positive with a forward-looking attitude. But then there have been times that she's cut out a split second too late, and I hear this rush of sobbing coming over her just before she can cover her hand to the receiver. And then she comes back on, and she's perfectly clear. And I'm in a difficult conflict. Do I address the reality of what just happened, or do I swim along beside her?
If she's in a hospital?
Not yet, but I don't know. She won't tell me. She's not home anymore, I can tell you that. Unless she's just stopped answering the phone, which, before all this happened, she would do. I mean, she's on the phone all day at work anyways, but, not that I'm not discounting that she might be staying elsewhere sometimes, but hey, I have no right to make any demands. I can't ask any questions, so doesn't sound like you.
Sounds like you'd simply like to thank her.
Yeah. You're right. I would like to thank her.
All right, well then why not just do that?
Yeah, well, how can I do that without it sounding like goodbye?
But has she actually said that?
Not in so many words, just, she breaks up on the phone.
Okay, but then what makes you so sure?
Well, because evidently they're operating on her in about 10 days and she won't tell me the name of the hospital.
But when you say evidently, what does that
Okay.
mean?
There was a growth,
Oh.
and she was in a lot of pain, and the doctors told her it's probably benign. Amazing.
Yes.
I've never mentioned her to anyone before, and she's never let on about me. And we have close mutual friends who have no idea. And yet I just walked in here today and just started blabbing away.
Well, a thing like this, it builds up. You never know who you're going to start telling it to.
Yeah, but...
You know what? When I saw you pass by earlier.
Yeah, you saw me looking through the window.
You stared in that window for a very long time.
Yeah, I was trying to find, something together.
Yeah, I could see you imagining it. It moved me so deeply for her sake.
I've been up and down this neighborhood all day long, and nothing is right. Everything I find is just simply not right.
Now, I am sure that you are going to think of something.
I hope so.
I am sure.
I think part of the problem is I don't know what to get her because I don't know what I want to say. I don't know what I have a right to say. I mean, someone my age ought to be past these feelings. I go on and on about how much time there is. Oh, that kerchief is beautiful.
Oh, it's silk. Paris.
Oh, it's lovely.
Uh-huh.
I would you wear something like that.
Oh, anyway, like this,
Mm-hmm.
or as a bandana.
I don't think she would do that indoors.
Well, she could.
Nah, it might taunt her, if they have to.
Well then in bed, like this.
Oh. Yeah, it's the right shade. You do have her coloring,
Oh.
Yeah, it's amazing. I just come blabbing away.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you never know who you're gonna tell it
But
to.
you have that look in your eye,
What kind of look?
like you're seeing me.
Huh.
Of course, it also doesn't help the fact that you're about her age.
Oh no, what does that have to do with anything?
Well, someone my age usually doesn't remember what 30 is.
Oh, but you remember.
Well, not at first, no, but it all comes rushing back to me with just a gentle touch of her flesh. I feel like a Hindu recalling a former life.
What is 30 like?
30's an emergency. 30 is standing on a cliff, looking down at both sides, seeing the sun and the shadow, your youth and your dying, all in the same glance. 30's the last year that you really believe you can radically change your life. And right now she's caught on that ridge, unable to move. things have been working out so well for her. Her plans coming through, all her dreams coming about. So therefore it's hard to think of something to get her that won't suggest the end of all that. And those eyes closing.
I have a kind of warm negligee. This one right here. Check it out. What do you think?
To me, that might seem like something you wear after you had a baby.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, if she's really sick, they'll be parading her in the hallways of the hospital with one of those gowns with the thing in the back.
Well, not everyone dies of it. Not every case.
Yeah, but like I said, I've heard her weeping.
But the thought of disfigurement is terrible, don't you think? You ought to write and just thank her.
But that has to sound like a goodbye.
You sound like you've never had a single intimate talk.
Well, yes, but not about, negative things.
Oh, you came together for pleasure.
Yeah, but, I told her these things only stay at the surface, certainly at my age. There's no future in them.
There does come a point,
That's true.
all right, when it becomes an effort to keep things uncommitted,
Yes, it is a contradiction.
to care and to simultaneously not care, right?
You can't make a breakthrough. It's like a fish falling in love with the sun. Once it breaks water, it can't breathe. So it really is just all superficial?
You don't always look like that, do you?
Like what?
In pain.
Well, I'd just like to know what I mean to her, I've never felt this way about a death before. Not even about my mother's and my father's. There was always some unwelcome release, an obligation removed. But with her, I can't help but feel pulled under myself and suffocated. What else do you got? I know. A bed jacket. That's the kind of thing. Healthy people wear those too, right?
I haven't got any.
Nothing at all?
You can try the department stores.
Yeah, that's what I want. A bed jacket. It's the type of thing that doesn't say anything, really.
Well, that's true. There is something non-committal about a bed jacket. Try Saks.
I will. Thank you. I came here before. I really didn't expect that I'd be unloading on you like this.
I have an electric kettle if you'd like a cup of tea.
I would love it.
Hi.
Thank you. So are you the owner here?
Uh-huh. This might just be a case of a woman who's just really scared of an operation. That's all. I'm that way.
No. I think in her case it would take more to rattle her. She's not an hysterical type, except maybe once a month for a couple of hours.
She tends to objectify her situation.
That's it.
She sees herself
Yes.
from a distance.
Yes, but very tough. She's very strong right up until the moment that she flies to pieces.
She's had to control because she's alone.
Yeah, so something like this has to be like pulling back a shower curtain and a wild animal jumping at it.
She was never married.
Never.
Something about her couldn't be, unless maybe to you.
She has this marvelous, throaty, almost vulgar laugh. Shoots her forward and she even slaps her thigh like a hit comedian. She's completely helpless too. She holds on to me and pulls me down to the sidewalk as we're walking. There's this one time, we're at one of these little cafe tables and she said something and we both lunged forward laughing just as the waiter was bringing down the omelet and boom, there was no more omelet after that.
Oh, milk or lemon? Lemon.
Lemon, yes.
Right.
You're not busy?
After Christmas, it tends to die down for a few days.
Oh, it's like someone's home in here.
Oh, I try to sell what I conceivably want for myself, yes.
You're successful.
In a way, I guess. Wait, I am. Very, in fact.
But a baby would be better.
Sometimes. Often, actually. It's not just numbers and figures. There's something appalling, just something utterly pointless about business. It's like emptying a pail and filling it up again each day. Why? Do I look unhappy?
You look like you found yourself for the 50th time and you'd like to throw yourself away again.
You try to avoid hurting people.
What can I say? I try, but I've done it. It can't be helped.
No, no wonder she loves you.
I'm not so sure about that. Not anymore.
I'm sure.
Why?
It'd be so easy.
But I'm so old.
No.
Not so sure I want her to. I warned her not to when we started. I said that these things are, usually a case of someone loving themselves and wanting someone else to confirm it. I told her there was no future in it. Certainly not at my age. And, I told her all this, the ugly, harsh things I could think of.
And it didn't matter at all.
It didn't?
Of course it mattered. I mean, what you said made her stamp on her feelings and hold part of herself in reserve. It even humiliated her a little.
No, I think that her independence means more to her than any relationship.
How do you know? You're the one who ordered her not to love you.
Well, yes, but I don't think she wanted to love anyone. Besides, it's nature that made the mistake. That I should be so old and perfectly healthy, and she's so young and sick.
Why do you keep going on and on like it must be the end? Thousands of people survive this, and why didn't you ask her exactly what it was?
I couldn't bear to make her say it out loud.
So all she's actually said is, there's an operation?
No, she just said that the 28th of the month was the big day.
Okay, well that can mean almost anything.
Well, then why won't she tell me the name of the hospital?
Oh, she doesn't want to unload her troubles onto you.
I've thought of that.
Yeah, of course. You know what? It is a matter of pride. So even before all this, did she ever invite you to just drop in on her? She didn't, did she?
No,
Mm-hmm.
quite opposite.
Because she wanted her hair done, and she wanted to be dressed in something you'd like to see her in, am I right?
Yeah, she insisted on that.
Okay, so then you can't expect her to just invite you to drop in on her at a hospital, can you?
But I would only try to comfort her.
She doesn't want comfort, she wants her power back. This might be the most important thing of her life.
No, it's important, but not the most important. And how could it be? I mean, neither of us burned our bridges. We can, especially at my age.
Why do you go on and on about your age? That's only an excuse to escape with.
It's the only one I've got, dear. Besides, regardless of my age, she wouldn't be good to be married to.
Oh, how can you say that?
What's wrong with saying it? It's true. Look, she needs new accomplishments. She needs challenges. She needs adventures in the mountains, not marriage in the valley. Marriage would leave her restless. It would never last.
So you were both content with what you had?
Yeah. Huh. Never thought about it that way. Yeah, I guess. Very.
Yeah, to think that you were almost both perfectly happy.
Yeah, almost. I mean, there was always something out of necessity kind of tentative about this, and it never occurred to me that it was perfect. It was a perfect chaos.
And your wife?
My wife is who I should be married to. I am very grateful for having her, especially her kindness. We've always helped each other out.
Mm-hmm. She's not ambitious?
No, she is to a point. We're partners in a business. We have an advisory service to town planners.
Wow.
She's amazingly competent. I oversee, but I do less than less.
Why? Isn't it important?
It's terribly important. We've changed whole countrysides for the next 100 years.
Okay, then why are you doing less and less?
I'm not going to be here in 100 years, and that struck me powerfully the other day.
All right, so all in all, you will survive this.
Yes. And the time will come when days will have gone by, which I haven't thought of. This one's agony, and then weeks, and then months. And I say this knowing full well that at this moment, she is shielding herself to spare me of her agony of dying.
Or to spare herself. If she doesn't look at what she loses, she somehow loses less, but I just don't think it's as bad as you're making it out to be. She just doesn't want you to see her so scared of the knife. She has sense.
That's true. She would never want to be seen scared, certainly not by me.
Okay.
She abhors cowardice. She rises to the display of any type of bravery, any. Yeah, I think you're right. She'll want to see me again when she's made it, when she's a winner again. Amazing. Yeah. Just go on about this. I'm just looking for stuff.
Yeah.
So you think that she's temporarily afraid?
Oh, just terribly so. That's all.
Huh. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, but I think she just wants things to be. She just realizes that it's as perfect as it's ever going to be. That this is all as close as it could ever be.
You believe that?
Yeah.
You really believe that
Yes.
this is as close as we're ever going to come?
Yes.
Maybe that's why it's so hard to get her something.
Yeah.
You know, she asked me once, at the end of an evening as we were, she asked me if I could remember all the women I've met in my life. Because she couldn't remember all her men, she said.
And did you believe her?
No. No, I thought that she was simply trying to reassure me that she would never get too demanding. It chilled me to the core.
Really? Why?
Well, why say such a thing unless you're planning on getting demanded?
And now you've changed your mind.
No, I think she was telling the truth. I think she was showing me that there is something indifferent about her, as there is in me, something very cold and empty, like water rushing through a cave. I feel that you're condemning me.
No, I don't condemn anybody. You know that.
Yeah, that's what you say, but come on.
Oh, no. I am helpless not to forgive everything, finally.
Yeah, that's your glory, but deep down there's contempt.
I know, what are you saying? You're the one who offered only your friendship.
Well, what else could I have offered?
What? You can't expect to have the same you would have had you committed yourself.
What I would have had?
Yeah. To be clung to now, to be worn out with your weeping, to be staggered by your newfound loneliness, to be washed, cleansed, clarified with tears. A lover has to earn that kind of satisfaction. You couldn't bring yourself to share in her life. You can't expect to share in her dying, can you? Is that what you like?
I would like to understand what I mean to her.
You are her friend.
No, there's no such thing. What's a friend who only wants good news and bright times? No, I love her, but I'm forbidden to by my commitments, by my aching knees, by my age, by my God. I am sleepy by 9:30. I don't know what the hell she sees in me. I can't bear the sight of my own face anymore. I'm shaving my father in the morning.
So why not just believe her? You're one of her friends.
One of her friends. Yes. I guess I'll have to believe that, but why doesn't it empty me? Why am I still filled like this? What am I trying to say? You know, tell me.
Like I said, it's as perfect as it's ever going to be.
You believe that?
Yes.
That this is it?
This is it.
That there is no gift I can get her? That what have I not said that I should have said? That I didn't do that I should have done?
She just wants it to stay the way that it is forever. Hey? How gently, oh, how gently.
So maybe I should get her something that lasts a long time.
Yeah.
Does this work?
Oh, yeah, it's exact. It's an antique.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I know. Take it.
No.
Yeah, no, come on. It's just the right thing. It'll remind her to be brave every time she looks at it. You never said her name.
You never said yours. Thank you. Thank you very much.